I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer, great one. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
All right. This is a great, I wish I could provide the details because this guy is such a mission critical employee and he was fired by a boomer boss. And it just, I watch Electronic Arts, which may be an obscure point, but follow me through on it. So the president and CEO is Andrew Wilson, and he's got nice hair. And they had a video game called Dragon Age Veilguard, and it's like a $250 million budget, and it just fucking flopped. And my question was, don't you ever, I don't know, stop golfing or yachting and maybe go see what the people are doing on the production floor? Because it was just a mess. I mean, it was just a horrible, it was woke, it was political. It was just, don't you go in early on and make sure the people on the assembly line aren't just like dropping trow and taking a shit on the assembly line? And apparently they don't. Like, it just, again, not a Democrat, but boy, you corporate executives type. Boy, you get there and what is it? You think you just coast? You have espresso in the morning, martinis at lunch, and you go golfing in the afternoon. Is that it? Don't you have to maybe lead the company? And Bob Iger, you're the president and CEO of Disney. Shouldn't you have, hey, Kathleen, what are you doing? What do you mean lesbian space witches? Apparently not. Apparently people are just too busy doing corporate executive things to manage the actual fucking company. And you see this disconnect where you have a president and CEO of a firm. I can't mention what. It's an interesting industry he's in. It's an industry that is facing headwinds. And I got to anonymize it so this guy can't get identified. But there's an industry, right? It's a unique industry. And there's a piece of equipment that you really need to work in this industry. And the piece of equipment, surprise, is very, very, very expensive and very complex. And the employee this guy had, and he fired, knew how to fix the machines on the cheap using 50-cent pieces of stuff he could find on Amazon. But it's saving the company hundreds of thousands of dollars spread across the firm with all these different vital machines. And the CEO, I forgot why he fired him or whatever. They just got rid of this guy, and now no one in the industry knows how to fix these machines anywhere near as cheap. They know how to replace them. They know how to replace very expensive components that makes these machines expensive. This guy knew how to repair the component, right? Not replace it. So, and the detail in which he goes through how he replaced or repaired them, all the different things you got to account for, which took him several weeks to figure out, a trial and error, but he figured it out. He MacGyvered it. He reverse engineered it. This is your more than $1 million man. This is the guy You don't piss off. And they fired him. They got rid of him. And I asked him, I'll read about it later here. Like, is the company bankrupt? He's like, it's getting there. It's getting there very quickly. So I'm going to read through this, and a lot of it's going to be redacted or changed. So I'm going to, keep them anonymous. Fixing the complex device is something I figured out on the side while working on a different system. I saved them as they couldn't use their largest manufacturing facility during peak production season. After the COVID lockdowns, they switched to a newer, better piece of machinery, only to find there was a built-in problem in a fair amount of these machines. The manufacturer wanted to charge them the cost of a new machine for repair, which would involve a 6-month wait and a shipping fee all the way from foreign nation. I narrowed the problem down to a specific thing on a specific other thing that is very difficult to remove without affecting calibration or causing damage. He's getting down into the I made my own tools and devised methods to extract the thing without causing damage to the very sensitive machinery. You fired this guy, Boomer. I'm going to explain it to you CEOs. You're fucking nothing without your employees. I know you're the highest paid. I know they're nothing without you. I know you don't realize it is a codependent relationship. You need them and they need you. I'm curious why you fired this guy. I didn't hear anything about, he grabbed somebody's boobies. Was he just too nerdy? Was that it? He wasn't with the cool kids? He didn't show up for Pizza Fridays? Why? Now, he didn't tell him, but I would admit, I've never been a CEO. It would seem to me, if I'm getting quotes to the most critical piece of machinery we got, and they're saying it costs a whole new one to repair or replace, and it's a 6-month lag, and we got our busy season coming up, and then I find out that Joe Schmo on the assembly line figured a way to repair them for, I gotta imagine, $200, $300, and not the hundreds of thousands of dollars spread over scores of pieces of machinery at different facilities. You are now in charge of this, and here's a big fucking pay raise, and thank you very much. And yeah, we'll do Pizza Friday if you'd like, but here's enough money. Here's what I would do. I say, you figured that out? I'd be like, yeah. What's your mortgage? We're paying it the fuck off. I want you to keep working here, and your pay is whatever. I do the math and say, all right, this is cost us this much. He maintained to keep it. We're bumping you up to 150, 200,000. I want you to stay here. Do you need to be flown out to Pahrump? You are a value. I would thank him, let him know he was appreciated, and pay him. Thank you. You literally saved the company and everyone's job. Redhead and Pahrump, which would you like? You fired him. Then I found a guy who had another specialty piece of machinery to replace the faulty other thing on a piece of equipment worth about $2,000. They don't know how I did it. So you had a guy. So there are two problems: the one you fixed and the one this guy fixed, or you used his highly specialized piece of equipment to fix the thing, right? Over all the pieces of machinery, saving them literally millions of dollars. They don't know how I did it, and I will never, and they never will. I literally fixed this garbage with some secondhand 50-cent pieces of equipment off of eBay, while the manufacturer quoted them $8,000 just to look at it and maybe fix it. I I love it when stupid, arrogant bosses fire the critical employees. That's my favorite. You can only find other guys on the internet on different tech forums who did other things to repair it, but this is not a long-term solution because you quickly run out of critical equipment that they don't longer make. I actually narrowed down the problem within the piece of machinery to specific sub pieces of machinery and found a method to replace them without damaging the larger piece of machinery. This is an ongoing problem with the machines that the foreign company makes, which is the most popular piece of equipment for this industry across the world. Buddy, you know what you should do? You should immediately open up a company that will repair them and charge an arm and a leg. That's your money. That's your business. Oh, I got to do that. There you go. There you go. And every few months, a bunch of them fail. I wrote myself a manual and shared it, but never shared it with my former employer. Dude, this manual shouldn't even be on the internet. Take it off. Have a physical copy piece. That is gold that you got there. That is a physical copy piece. Put it in your safety deposit box. Start charging other companies in that industry to do the thing you did. You should name your company, not you, so that when your former employer comes in and says, hey, I heard you go by Bob's, and I heard you fixed this piece of machinery. And you email them back. Put a hot girl with big boobs up as your front person. And then you charge them you just charge them barely where it's like where they just a little bit less than a brand new piece of equipment. I worked for them for 8 years as STEM title person. In the last few months, they started asking me to make lists of the work I do, then started scheduling fake disciplinary meetings. Oh, they're so backstabby. They're so passive-aggressive Minnesota nice, aren't they? While at the same time ignoring my complaints about the CEO sneering at me like he's looking at shit whenever I spoke. So on the last day of the month when I got my pay slip, instead of attending the fake disciplinary meeting, I quit and never returned. Good for you. I cleared my desk completely. They harassed my family members listed under emergencies on my contact. See, now they know they're up shit creek. This is why you should never fill out that section. I don't. They sent the police to where I live as a welfare check as if they don't know why I quit. You don't have to tell, dude, girls acting like shit. You don't say, I'm breaking up with you for these reasons. Just like, bye. Why? That's going to cost you a lot of money. Goodbye. The Boomer company director showed up where I live in the morning and in the evening, hoping for me to come out, then left an envelope with a handwritten note. He has a copy of the handwritten note. Save that, man. I'd frame that. Remind you every day that you put those boomer assholes in their place. The bullshit the guy talks about, mentioning keys. No, there's nothing to return because I paid from my own pocket to get those keys cut, as they wouldn't do that for me. It is. It's like a girl that's dating a really good guy, but she treats him like shit. And he's like, fuck this shit, I'm out. And then she comes back groveling. I have the right to destroy them. They were given all the passwords burned on a CD and printed on paper, so they are lying when they say they didn't receive them. Dude, I wouldn't even, this letter, you don't have to read. Oh, I have nothing to do with it. Look, let me explain something to you employers and for people when they break up with you. When your employee quits, you don't get to tell him or her what to do ever again. Right? And honestly, if I was you, buddy, if they kept doing this, I would get like a lawyer, have them draft up a little letter. If you bother me one more time, I'm suing you for harassment. I think you need a lawyer for it. You just have to send a letter, right? Or an email. If you keep bothering me, I'm going to sue you for harassment. And oh, you know what? Just file a restraining order with the local cops, right? These arrogant pricks can't stand it when you turn them down and tell them to fuck off. They got to get. It's like they're psychopathic. They don't care about practical product production quality. They don't. It doesn't end. It's just a continuation of the popularity Olympics at middle school. That's all it is. They're given In fact, the day I quit, the CEO reset my login. That was the last straw that made me quit. Their plan was to screw me out of severance pay by staging fake disciplinary meetings. The scumbags made ridiculous requests to write up endless documentation and train the person replacing me in tangled redundancy pay as a carrot, which the guy said would be a certain amount. But now the letter has been reduced to, yeah, you never train your replacement. No. Say, well, I'll do it. You quit. And, well, we need you back. Well, what I like? Oh, to replace me? Oh, it's like $250,000 up front. Or how about this? No. At this point, I'd be like calling them names. I'm like, what's up, Dickless? Oh, you can't work. Oh, your wife's pretty hot. If I can fuck your wife, I'll think about it. Send her over. Never be paid plan. Investigation was to screw me out of the severance. I said, dang, the only problem is the fix is so specific they would know who you are and figure the fix out. Did they go bankrupt? Have to get a new bunch of equipment? CEO resign. He says, there is a 3% every quarter fail rate. So 12% of your products of these machines. So in 8 years, they got a lifespan of 8 years. If they try to replicate the fix, their incompetence will show. For instance, and here's where the detail goes. You fired this guy. You fired this guy. This guy's about to go into some deep detail. I revived around 60 things that were littering the work floor by replacing another thing and another thing here and there. After they cut my pay, I stopped fixing them. And the CEO, along with HR, tried bypassing me and taking a batch of broken things to the repair shop where I do another thing. He does a lot of things. The technician there couldn't fix the things, even with parts, gave the things back, even though that was an easy fix from my perspective. Dude, you have to start setting up your own company now. There's not that many companies in this field, right? And they got the same problem. Come up with a website that says what kind of machinery you fix. Send it to them, give them the prices. You have to start. You're going to make so much money, man. You would make so much money. You got a great skill. And never tell anyone how you do it. Never tell anyone. And then when your former boss comes to you, which they will, right? And you're going to use a different name. Now you can file whatever it is, with the LLC. I don't think they're going to look up the LLC. You have a cute girl pose for you, and she's like the spokeswoman. She's the front gal. And then when your former boss comes to you, you charge him quadruple. Fuck those guys. You'll make way more money than what you were making beforehand. You have to do it, man. Because Lord, look, they may fix it, these machines down the road in the next generation. So you got what, 5 to 10 years going forward? Yeah, I would capitalize on this. Could be your retirement for some pretty easy work. There couldn't. Where'd I go? Nobody wants to deal with a lawyer prick CEO who never had a job outside his dad's company. Oh, is it a nepotist? And like to berate people. I'm confident they won't manage a complicated problem like this. You have to be careful not to contaminate certain things, not to lose other things or snap other things. There's a lot of precaution that goes into this. It's very unlikely that I will come across this repair again in my area, so I'm fine with the method being no, do not. No, you need to think more critically. Okay, you don't tell anybody this. No one. Right? I'd even take notes that are in code so no one knows what the hell you're talking about. Go into business, fix this stuff up. and please make millions of dollars. Please. They are not bankrupt yet, but their main competitor is buying more factories while they are closing their branches. So it's safe to say the business ran into the ground and won't last long. Come on, baby, light my fire. I think there's fewer than 5 people I knew in banking that still work in banking. And at least one of which wasn't my boss. But all my bosses are either dead or they're not in banking. And now, admittedly, a lot of them retired too. But I know a lot of them were fired. It's better to walk off and deal with the death throes than deal with the death throes of a company. Once the broken machines start piling up, they will need to buy new machines, but won't have the capital to do it. Boy, you know what you could do? You know what you could do? You could go buy them up on the cheap and fix them and then sell them. Huh? Huh? When they because no one else knows how to fix them, right? So no one's going to pay any money for them. It's garbage to them. You go pick them up for a song, you fix them, maybe provide a little bit of a guarantee like, okay, this is fixed. If it breaks down, I'll give you a 3-year warranty, all right? If it breaks down, let me know. I'll come back and fix it. The CEO has not resigned yet, but all of his engineers and another guy did over the course of 3 months. Oh, nosies. The baby boomer boss nepotist doesn't have anyone working for it, anyone important. At least you got an HR gal, I bet. I bet you got an HR gal. I bet you she asked the hard questions. I wanted to thank you for that story. That was great. I appreciate it. I love it seeing stupid people go bankrupt. I love it. And I love it where the nerds have the power. And buddy, you have to set up a company fixing this. Speaking of nerds that we all like, Syndicate Chief, $5 sounds like my previous job. I was the only dev left. The place was already starting to crumble. So when I quit, the place just went downhill fast. Yeah. Look, baby boomers, you want to build companies on sand, go ahead. But don't actively dig out the sand and the supports underneath your company. All right? That's just me. I don't know what motivates you. I don't know what warped, fucked up logic. Maybe it was all the drugs you assholes did in the 70s and the 60s that fucked up your brain. Thought, I know, be dishonest, be a prick and lie all the time. That's the business strategy. We're going to write books about energies and synergies and Porter's 5 forces models. And we're going to say, oh, you have to put in your dues. That'll get a strong, big company going. I'm so happy seeing you all die of heart attacks, a stroke, and diabetes, and miserable families, and divorce, and poverty. And you guys are the executives. I love seeing it. Robert Archer, a North Dakota agent in the field, $2. Does he need a job? I could use help. I could ask him. It's a very precise tech thing he does. I imagine, Robert, yours is more industrial machinery. He calls them machines. I guess they're more electronics, but kind of electronics. Maybe let me know. Generation Apollo, $5. Stockton Rush fired the engineer who refused to certify his tin can Titanic sub for the depth he wanted. That sure worked out for him, didn't it? Isn't that nice? And the engineer didn't. That's too bad. Oh, that's too bad. Aw. I mean, I had the same thing. It wasn't tech or engineering, but I'd write up a report. We'd have ratings, 1 to 5. 1 is absolutely do not lend to. 5 is holy shit, you found someone who isn't going to stab you in the back. Man, I don't think we ever got much above 3s. But even the 1s and 2s, I don't like the way you did. You didn't do that. I'm using the formulas you gave me. When are you going to finish the report? When I get tax returns that aren't 3 years old, asshole. To the chickens, 10 generous dollars. I'm calling it. He fixes lithography machines. No, that's not it. Also tip how to be a Nepo trust fund baby. 1, admit you don't know what you're doing. 2, don't be cheap. Hire someone that does. 3, sign the check. Boy, it really is that simple, isn't it? It really is just, you're a manager. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. But you should find good people. You fix the thing. Is the machine running good? What are you paid? I'm paying you 10% more than the industry. Keep you guys here. Your wife is pregnant. How much time you need off? Can you come in? Well, you need to work from home? Work from home. We don't want you here anyway. That's more office expense. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. If I was big time corporate executive guy, you know what I would do? I'd get my employees some whores. I would. I would. If they were good, right? And I'd probably have to do it overseas because Lord knows it violates some rule or law or some sensibility in fraggy vaggy United States. We're going to Thailand. I don't know. You probably do have them there. Although I'd have to worry about STDs and all that. I could get sued. But like, you guys did a good job. Hop on the boat. Let's go. Where are we going? That's why no one wants to work for your company. You're not the fun company. I'm the fun company. We got co-cures. All right. I'll see you guys later, Toodles. Oh, what's linked below? Link to all my shits below. No. Is it? How not to become a millennial? Is that it? I don't know. Something's linked below. Check it out. Toodles.